over the past 8 months since the Nord Stream gas pipeline blast, and the mystery continues. There are multiple clues and finger-pointing. In the latest, a series of revelations, the German investigators have now found a Polish connection to the underwater explosion. On the 26th of September last year, a series of deep-sea explosions at the bottom of the Baltic Sea rocked the Nord Stream gas pipelines. Months after the clandestine bombings, new details have emerged from Germany's frantic ongoing investigations. According to reports, fresh evidence suggests that the attackers used Poland as their base of operations. Investigators have meticulously reconstructed the 14-day voyage of a white yacht suspected to be used for the explosions. These came from extensive data that has been unearthed from the yacht's radio and navigation equipment. Now, information has also been found from mobile phones, Gmail accounts, and DNA samples of a Ukrainian soldier left on board. The revelations come in after the local media reports from Germany in March stated the possible involvement of a yacht from a Poland-based company. The details also revealed that the yacht is owned by Ukrainian citizens. Earlier, a Washington Post report claimed that the U.S. administration was aware of the gas pipeline blast 3 months before it happened. The details, which surfaced on Tuesday, state that the U.S. intelligence received extensive information from a European ally. The report goes on to claim that the Ukrainian military was planning an attack using a small team of divers. Since the incident, both Russia and Ukraine have locked horns in an intense blame game. Moscow and Kiev have reportedly held each other responsible for the damage, while both sides have vehemently denied these allegations. The Nord Stream gas pipelines were a crucial Russian supply system that were used to transport Russian gas to Europe. Now, for more on this, we are being joined by Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, who is a senior fellow and military expert for defense priorities. Thank you for being with us. Now, Moscow says that Kiev's counteroffensive has been thwarted. Ukraine says that the much-anticipated counteroffensive is yet to begin. What is really happening on the ground?
Yeah, I think there's actually a kernel of truth in both of those views. The initial waves, and I think we're in day 6 now of the actual start of it, have been uniformly failed on the Ukraine side. They have attempted large-scale attacks or medium-scale attacks, I guess is probably a better way to put it, especially at night, trying to penetrate the front lines, the front fortifications of the defense of the Russian Federation in several different areas, in 3 different areas at least. And thus far, they have all been failed. In fact, up to this point, they have not even penetrated the first belt of the Russian forward defenses, which are approximately 4 to 5 belts, depending on how you want to count it. And none of them have penetrated at all. The intent appears to have been for Ukraine to launch these first attacks to try to open up some holes in the first lines and then bring in the large number of forces that they have apparently still out of context. So in that sense, the big blow has yet to come, but the first blows have not accomplished their mission, and that's definitely alarming for Kiev.
Now, how do you see the battle in Bakamut, which has once again intensified?
Yeah, that's one of the 3 areas where the Ukraine side is trying to make headway. They have made a little bit of headway in both the north and the south of Bakamut, but it has also ground into a slow process. They're not making much ground, 100, 200 meters per day, because the Russians are moving more reinforcements in there, and they've also conducted elaborate defenses in the area as well. And a lot of that is happening in forested areas where it's a lot harder to move because you can't see as far. So there is some progress, but it's not very much. It certainly hasn't gained any operational importance thus far.
Right, and Lieutenant, also the Nord Stream mystery continues to be baffling. Now there is a Polish angle to the sabotage. Who, according to you, could be behind the incident?
Well, obviously, we're all we know is what the various governments are saying out loud. We don't have any independent way to know, and many different stories are plausible. But I think the most likely remains what Seymour Hersh explained and gave the details about. That's the most plausible because of the capability that it would take to pull off something like this, the planning level, the resources, and the means and the motivation. Because, the idea that Ukraine separatists of some sort would have gone to this much effort and money to do something that really had no impact at all. Because remember, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline had not even been operating. So it was not even in play. It was just on the bottom of the sea. So there would be no gain for the Ukraine's, saboteurs to do that because it didn't have any play. But it would have some importance long term, from trying to cut off Western Europe from any potential Russian involvement with oil and gas later on. So in that regard, I think it still seems more plausible that it was the Seymour Hersh version.
All right. Thank you very much. Great to talk to you, and thank you for your valued insights and analysis on that.
Always my pleasure. Thank you.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.